This is the closing market report for Thursday on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. On the phone right now with Bill Moore of Price Futures Group as we wrap up another day in the ag marketplace. Bill, what have we seen going on in the grain and livestock markets today?
A lot of green, which is my favorite color, and double-digit green, no less. And it's all started with a Chinese newspaper called the South China Post. Overnight, reported some very positive developments. U.S.-China trade. It's one thing for Trump to talk about it, but when they're talking about it, that's the markets take a listen. Just some positive stuff that they're going to cement maybe a trade deal when they meet in Beijing in the beginning of April. And it's all good news, and the market liked what it heard, and it gapped higher and has maintained the gains here with only about 16 minutes left. March beans up 14, March wheat up 15, and March corn up about 4. What's not to like? If you look at these charts, technically impressive action today. Should the beans close here, it'd be the highest close they've had going back to early December and coming off their lows, the 2026 lows by $1. That's a good sign. The wheat market is also impressive technical action. Big spike on the upside, took out the January highs. The market should have closed right here, would be the highest close since mid-November. In the case of the wheat, some tough Russian weather. They're the biggest exporter of wheat, and the crop maybe not as good as they thought. That's helping the market. Plus spillover help from the beans and the corn. Exports today were not helpful for the beans. So that's even more impressive, this action. 281,000 metric tons of beans sold. They're looking for 300 to 1.1 million, so a very low number. There was one flash sale, but a small one to a non-China country. And also the government WASDE report that came out a couple of days ago was neutral for beans. So we're not getting help from the report or the recent exports, but the prospect of U.S. and China going further in their relationship with more Chinese buying this year has got the markets pumped up, and they rallied as a result of that. So it's thinking of what might be on to come. A lot of people are skeptical of that, but you got to remember back in October, there was a lot of naysayers as well. I know, talking about 12 million metric tons, how's that going to happen with China, with South America lower than us? But it did happen because they lowered some of the tariff rates. So it happened once. It could happen. It happened back in October. They fulfilled their 12 million early this year, and it sure could happen again. And the market's thinking that way. That's kind of the reasoning as I'm seeing it. The CONAB also helped the upside with their estimate of beans at 178, which is under what a lot of people are looking at. A lot of estimates, got this bean crop at 180, 182, and they're saying 178. CONAB, that's Brazil's own estimating agency. So that was a positive as well. South American weather is a little dicey, too much rain, mold. These yields in Mato Grosso maybe not as good as people thought previously. So it all adds up to a big update with double-digit gains in both beans and wheat. Good to see. I think that there's a political angle here. President Trump, if you look at the polls, is not doing well in the polls based on all the things he's done and a lot of unpopular things with this immigration enforcement and all. He's going to need the farm vote. He got it. He got it 4 years ago, or he got it for this last election. Is needed again in November for the midterms and for the Republicans in 28. And he's going to do, in my feeling, estimation, anything possible to help the farmer. One thing would be, better relations with China and more trade. So I think that's on the farmer side as well. Livestock-wise, the economy in the livestock today, if you look at the chart, start with the cattle market. Cattle market kind of stalling out here. April cattle closed at 240.60. Quick look at the chart. That's right at the top of a $35 rally the market's been in since late November. Positive fundamentals there with the lowest cattle number, smallest cattle herd in 75 years. Stocks of beef stocks were at about a 16-year-old basis, the last cold storage report. Demand is solid even at these levels. market's hitting on all cylinders, and I think it's going to grind up through the month of February, back up to the highs we saw late last fall. The hog market has taken a turn down, however, even though it's a cheaper alternative in the supermarket. April hog's down a couple bucks today. The market shows a pretty good correction underway. Just about 4 or 5 days ago, the market was off its highs, close to 99, actually over 99. But the market has got a little overbought, and it's corrected just in the last 6 days. It's corrected about $8 or $9. But I think that'll be temporary. I think the cattle is going to help the hogs go higher through the end of February.
All right, Bill, lots of great information today. For anyone who would like to get in touch for more marketing information and check out your newsletter, how can they do that?
630-947-5176, wmore@pricescoop.com. Check out my newsletter, Agmaster, www.pricescoop.com, the company website. Look at the bios of Jack Scoville and myself. We've both been here at Price a long time. We'd love to help you out.
That again was Bill Moore of Price Futures Group. We'll look at the numbers next.
Growers have spoken, and they're raving about Storin corn herbicide. We surveyed over 1,000 customers who've made the switch to Storin, and 99% said they'd recommend it to a friend. That's right, 99%. With a 9 out of 10 satisfaction rating, it's clear why Storin is the herbicide customers can count on. But don't just take our word for it. Ask your Syngenta retailer or visit StorinReviews.com to read testimonials from Storin users near you. Always read and follow label instructions.
At the close, March corn up 3 3/4 at $4.31 1/4. March soybeans up 13 1/4 at $11.37 1/4. March soybean meal up $4.90 at $307.90. March soybean oil up 49 cents at $57.54. Chicago wheat up 15 1/4 at $5.52 1/2. Kansas City hard red winter wheat up 15 1/2 at $5.54 even. Minneapolis spring wheat up 7 1/4 at $5.77 1/2. March oats up 4 even at $3.09 even. On the Merc, February live cattle up 15 cents at $242.50. March feeders down $1.72 at $365.72. April lean hogs down $2.02 at $91.82. April pork cutout unchanged at $103.40, and February Class 3 milk down 6 cents at $15.06. That's been a check of the closing market prices. Thanks again to Bill Moore of Price Futures Group for joining us today here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, where Iowa Ag matters. I'm Riley Smith.